Welcome to all the students of SYBCOM. I, Pooja Singh, will be teaching you the subject Business Communication 1 for the semester 3. I hope you all are acquainted with the syllabus of Business Communication as it has been uploaded to the college YouTube channel. So, I will start directly with the Unit 1, that is Introduction of Business Communication. The topics which are to be covered in this online lecture will be the meaning, definition, characteristics and importance of communication. So let us start the lecture. First we will see the introduction. See, communication is a very wider term and we attempt to communicate to share ideas. So the basic purpose of communication is that when we want to share some ideas, opinions or thoughts with the another person, we communicate. So that is the main reason for the communication. So from this we can say that communication is the process of passing information from one person to another and understanding it. It is the art of transmitting information, ideas and attitudes from one person to another. So what is the business communication? It is nothing but transmission or sharing of information, ideas and opinions with one another. So this is what a communication is. Then what is business communication? Business communication is generally concerned with the business activities. When communication takes place among business parties concerning business affairs or its related issues, it is known as business communication. So basically business communication means what? When the business parties or when businesses are communicating related to the matters of business affairs or its work, then it is known as business communication. It is nothing but communication between people in the organization for the purpose of carrying out business activities. So when the people are communicating in the organization for carrying out the day-to-day activities of the business, it is termed as what? It is termed as business communication. So this is what business communication means. Now let us see the meaning and definition of business communication. See, the communication term has been derived from the Latin term communis, which means common. That is, whatever is common is shared by all. Communication is a means by which a thought is transferred from one person to another. It is an act or fact of communicating or sharing or interchange of thoughts, ideas, opinions or information by speech, writing or signs. So communication is what? It is a thought or idea of communicating with each other. It can be done by way of verbal communication, non-verbal communication or by written communication. Okay, the verbal is nothing but your oral communication. Your non-verbal communication is nothing but when you use your body gestures, your body language or symbols and signs to communicate your information, then it is termed as non-verbal communication. And written communication, when you write and communicate like notices, circulars, then that is termed as written communication. Okay. So in the words of George R. Terry, communication is an exchange of facts, ideas, opinions or emotions by two or more persons. Let us see the next definition. The next definition says business communication is the expression of channeling, receiving and interchanging of ideas in commerce and industry. So these were the two definitions and the meaning of communication. Now let us move to the characteristics of communication. We will see one by one the characteristics of business communication. The first one is a two-way process. Why it is called a two-way process? Because for the communication to take place, there should be two or more people. For the communication, a person cannot communicate with himself. A communication can take place only when there are two or more persons. That is why it is a two-way process. Sender sends the message and receiver gives the feedback. So it is a two-way process. Okay. The next comes needs proper understanding. There may be numerous media of communication, but the main purpose of conveying the message is a proper understanding of the message by the other party, or you can say by the receiver. For this purpose, it should be clearly and concisely worded. See, a communication can be only effective if the information or the idea which has been conveyed by the sender is properly understood by the receiver. That is why information or the message should be framed very carefully and in a very precise manner so that your communication is effective. That is why the second characteristic of your communication is needs proper understanding. The next comes continuous process. It is continuous process. It is repeated to achieve the desired results. It is not a one-time shot. It is not like that once the communication is done, yes, the work is over. No, it is a continuous process. Every time each person is communicating with the another person for some other purpose or for some different purpose. So communication is a continuous process. There is always communication taking place in the organization with a motive or with some objective. Okay. Now next comes exchange of ideas and facts. Why we communicate with each other? Because we want to exchange some ideas or we want to share our emotions or opinions or information with each other. This is the basic aim, na? That is why your fourth characteristic of communication is exchange of ideas and facts. So these are four characteristics. Now we will see the another four characteristics. The next fifth one is communication can be in any form, that is non-verbal, oral and written. I told you earlier that communication can be done by any three ways or by in any form. That is non-verbal, when you are using your body language, your body gestures, your signs or symbols to communicate with each other, then it is termed as your non-verbal communication. Oral communication, when you are saying or when you are speaking to each other for communicating with each other, then it is termed as your oral communication. And written communication is that when you're communicating in a written form, like using notices, letters, memos, circulars, then it is termed as written communication. So communication can take place in any form, that is non-verbal, oral or written. Now next comes feedback. See, feedback is very important in communication. That is why it is one of the important characteristics of communication. A sender will only understood that the receiver has got the message in the way he wanted to send him only when the feedback is received by the receiver. Only when the sender receives the feedback by the receiver. That is why feedback is very important. Once the receiver sends his feedback to the sender, then sender comes to know that the receiver has understood the message the way he or she wanted it. That is why feedback is very important characteristic of communication. Now next comes no communication without a message. Yes, if there is no purpose, there is no message, there is no objective, there is no aim, then communication cannot take place. So there is always a purpose or a message, then only a communication takes place between the people. Okay. Now next comes avoids misunderstanding. See, it provides clear understanding between persons and build trust between them. If you communicate face to face each other, and it is very easy to solve the queries or the issues when you communicate effectively with each other. So in somehow it also helps in avoiding the misunderstanding taking place in the organization. So these were the 8 characteristics of business communication. Let us see the next subtopic, that is importance of communication. Here we will see why communication is very important in a business organization. So the first point is basis of planning. See, the primary function of the management is planning, and its success depends upon effective communication. Because if the planning or if the planned program is not effectively communicated to the members of the organization, then it may turn out to be disastrous for an organization. Because communication is the only medium to express and transmit all the orders, guidelines, suggestions, and sentiments. Therefore, efficient communication is needed to successfully implement the plan programs. So, to implement the plan program, there should be an effective and efficient communication system implanted in the organization. Okay. The next point comes helps in decision making. See, communication helps the top level management in taking quick decisions. And if there is absence of communication process, then it becomes very difficult for the authorities in deciding or in making decisions. Okay, because various crucial decisions are to be taken by the business at every steps or at every different levels of management. Your levels of management comprises of your top level management, middle level management and lower level management. Therefore, in short, we can say that managerial decisions are put into practice with the help of effective communication. Okay. Now next point comes motivates employees' morale. The objectives of the organization are easily transmitted to the employees through effective communication. And the system explains to every worker working in the organization his responsibility and the way to do the work efficiently. Thus, it becomes very clear to the workers or to the employees of the organization that what work has to be performed by them and what is the right way to do it, making them accountable of their work. So this makes indirectly workers motivated automatically to take interest in their jobs. Employees are greatly attached to the enterprise when there is a continuous exchange of ideas and information between the managers and the employees. So this also raises their morale and they strive hard for the implementation of the various programs with vigor and zeal. So in this way, it motivates the employees' morale. Next point comes quick decisions and their implementations. See, effective communication helps managers to take prompt decisions in the right time. Different types of information, facts, opinions, ideas, suggestions, complaints, etc. are first collected through communication and then disseminated among the different groups of personnel in the organization with the help of communication mediums, which indirectly helps or directly it can help in taking quick decisions by the manager. So this is how it helps in quick decision and their implementation. Next comes successful working of the business. See, a well-developed communication system is very necessary for the successful or smooth function of the organization. Communication plays a very crucial role or useful role in any business enterprise, be it is a large enterprise or a small enterprise, or it can be a private or public. There is a very necessity to have a good communication system in an organization so that the work in the organization can be done smoothly and successfully. So that is why your fifth point is successful working of the business. The next point comes basis of leadership. See, effective communication is at the base of good leadership. If the leader can communicate its responsibility, its duties, its ideas, its opinions to their subordinates very effectively, then it generates a good image of that particular person in the eyes of its subordinates. It develops a good leadership quality in them. If you can communicate your ideas to your subordinates or to the workers very efficiently and very effectively, then it becomes very easy for them to follow you. So that is why communication plays very important role in building the leadership qualities in a person. Okay, so this is your next point, that is basis of leadership. Next comes maintaining good human relations. See, communication helps in maintaining a good human relations because there are many employees, many people coming from the different backgrounds working together in an organization for obtaining the objectives of the business. So there is very need to have a good communication between the people or between the employees of the organization. And in this thing, communication plays very important role. If there is very effective communication or good communication maintained or implanted in an organization, then it helps to build up a good healthy relationship or good healthy working relationship among the employees. So in this way, it helps in maintaining good human relations. Next comes encouraging ideas and suggestions. Communication helps in encouraging ideas and suggestions from the lower level of management, thus making them feel as the part of the organization. They are encouraged to give their ideas or opinions in various matters. Thus, it helps them to become or to feel like they are the part of the organization. So, in this way, also communication plays very important role in implanting or in making feeling the workers of the organization as a part of it. Okay. Next comes cost reduction. See, the present competitive world requires an organization to be cost effective for ensuring its success. Therefore, effective communication reduces the chance of strikes, lockouts, and industrial unrest. Mutual dialogue between laborers and the management ensures better working relations, which leads to better utilization of the available resources and the reduction in the cost of production. So this is how communication plays an important role in cost reduction too. The last point comes, good communication leads to coordination. There are various departments, various activities being carried out in a business organization, and they must be coordinated. If they are not coordinated, then it may result in chaos in the organization. Or work may not be completed on time, or there may be wastage of resources. So if there is a very good communication system maintained in the organization, information is flowing very smoothly and in a very detailed manner, then it helps in the coordination of work, coordination of people, and helps in obtaining the organization objective as a whole. So in this way, good communication leads to coordination. So these were the importance of communication. In today's lecture, we have completed meaning, definition, characteristics, and importance of communication. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Thank you.